People are now making thousands every single day by streaming on PumpFun, but is it really as easy as it looks, and is it something that if you're an aspiring streamer or you currently have an audience on Twitch or Kick that you should consider? Consider this your ultimate guide to streaming on the world's most chaotic platform. What you need to know, what the big streamers who post those crazy rewards will not tell you, and the risks of course that come with the space. PumpFun in essence is a meme coin trading platform where anyone can launch a coin for as little as like 0.01 solana. Now the beauty of what's happened over the last few months is that Alon, the co-founder of the platform, has put a real emphasis into creator fees and rewarding people who create on the platform beyond just making coins. This has seen a rise in live streamer coins. What does it mean for your average Joe who just wants to sit there playing Warzone and earn more money than he does on somewhere like Twitch? If you are an aspiring streamer, the first thing you have to realize is that this is your neighborhood, and the neighbors are all just degenerates and you live in a crack house. The question is, can you make that crack house into a home? Is this worth your time? And what other risks are there that you're not finding out before you hit that go live button? I just want to preface this, okay? I've been asked countless times to stream on PumpFun, and sometimes by people in very strong positions, and my answer has always been no, purely because I don't want to profit off of you guys. I don't want to be attached to a coin where how well or unwell you do financially is somehow relied upon my performance or my streams. That's never been about what this channel's for. PumpFun will open the doors for thousands of people to see you much quicker than they would anywhere else. But the reason I say all this is because if me, someone who has a crypto channel and has been trading meme coins for 2 years, is adamant that I won't launch a coin and I won't stream on PumpFun, why is that? Let's start with the responsibility, okay? On the surface, everything looks simple. You hit go live, you tweet it to your followers, and you stream as normal. It's never quite as easy as that though. Firstly, it's important to know how you're getting this money from PumpFun without ever buying the coin. They come from something called creator fees, which is PumpFun's way of essentially allocating any trading fee made on your coin to you. So you will get 10 times as much than you did before. And it's what's led to some of the crazy things we see on Twitter with posts of guys making $20,000 a day or $50,000 a day without ever buying their own coin, and it just comes from the volume of other people doing it for them. But much like a streaming setup, you need a PumpFun setup, and that is something that I've seen nobody on YouTube ever mention. Let's start with the basics, okay? When you make your coin, there is an option for you to buy some supply if you want it. Now in your mind you might be thinking, well, this is a great idea because it's my coin, I'm going to be committed and I want to profit if it does well. The issue is that you are technically the developer of that coin, and in crypto, if a developer sells, it is seen as abandoning the project, leaving everyone else in the waters to trudge around in losses and making off into the sunset. This might not seem that bad, but if you remember that your viewers who are likely on other platforms are coming to PumpFun for the first time, maybe throwing their own money into this chart, and then they see it get obliterated, you've cost your viewers, who you've spent maybe months or even years building, money, and they're not going to see you that same way again, that you have just exploited their passion and their love for your streams for money. The only way to get around this is to say that you'll be streaming on PumpFun at a set date. Let's say from Friday next week I'll be streaming on Pump. The difficulty with that, however, is that you give time for snipers, you give time for people who know what they're doing in the trenches with bundlers and multi-wallets and that sort of thing, to load up on some Solana, to wait for your coin to go live, and to max bid it before anyone else has a chance, which means your viewers, who, if this is their first time on the platform, have to understand how to make a Solana wallet, have to understand how to top it up, have to understand how buy and sells work. By the time they've got through all of that and then they decide to buy your coin, it's going to be too late and they're not going to have entry, and they're probably going to end up losing money unless by some miracle of God you send this upwards of like $1 million market cap, which by the way will not happen unless you do the following things. Firstly is to realize that this audience is not your audience. The people who will watch you on PumpFun could not care about you in the slightest. All they care about is making money, and if your stream will make them money, they're happy. If it doesn't, look out, because this is an unrelenting, unforgiving space and they'll be all over you like a pack of wolves. So think about that, decide very carefully before you venture down this path. This isn't a sit back and play Warzone and have some casual chats type of stream. It's not going to go anywhere. If you're moving to PumpFun to make money, which is really the only logical reason to make that decision. What comes with that territory is the expectation that your audience don't care. Like, you have to do something to appease them, which is why we see so many challenge streams, right? Of people saying, oh, when it gets to 30k, I'll do this, or 100k, I'll do that. That's the norm for PumpFun streams. And if you're not willing to set those targets to incentivize new holders or old holders not to sell, it's just not going to be successful. But in order to make it successful, there is a couple of things that you can do. The first one is work out how much supply you're actually going to buy. What's your intent with this? In all honesty, you don't actually need any dev supply because you're making money off of the creator fees. That's kind of the whole reason they were introduced, right? Is that developers can keep the project alive without needing skin in the game. But it can be bullish for old viewers, for new viewers and traders if you've got skin in the game and it's locked up. I mentioned before that if you sell your bag, you sell your supply, they'll know. You can't get away with it. If you've got a dev supply and you main the coin, everyone can see that you've sold it. The alternative here is to actually lock that supply. Now, this applies for streamers who are in it for the long term. They're not just on PumpFun for a quick buck, and they're planning to stream here multiple times per week for multiple months of the year. What you can do is buy a bag, let's say 3%, that might cost you 1 or 2 solana, and actually lock that through a website like Streamflow for a certain duration of time that lines up with what you want from the coin. This means you physically cannot sell your supply for the time you suggest, be it 6 months, a year, 2 years, however long you choose. For investors and for traders, this is super bullish because it means that you're not touching your supply, because you know that in 6 months to a year's time that it will be higher because you're here for the long term and you're building. It's a really simple thing to do. You just go onto the Streamflow website, you connect your wallet, you go to lock tokens, you hit the big button. It's that simple. And anyone that says they can't do that, or they're asking, how do I lock supply, are either very stupid, they're very new to the space and need guiding, or they're just delaying the inevitable rug where they're going to sell everything and take your money. So be ahead of the game, learn what Streamflow is, go on that before you launch your coin, understand how that works, and make sure you lock that supply. So if you tell them that you have locked supply and you're transparent with them, maybe they're safer leaving money with you. Maybe they don't mind holding your coin for longer because they see it as an investment on your stream's potential. You need that $200, or are you okay without it? Like, that's also a question you have to bear in mind before even starting your coin. Secondly is paying DEX. You have to pay DEX Screener, which is another $300. So let's say you buy $200 of your coin, you have to buy DEX Screener as well. That's $500. You haven't even streamed yet, and you're having to allocate a loss of $500 on the gamble that you make that back. There is more to this, and I'm not just saying this is a necessity for launching a coin, but if you're committed and you're not just in it for a quick buck, you need to show that intent. And if you don't do that, the coin has no hope. It is not as easy as just sitting in front of a camera, streaming for 2 hours and making $10,000. It doesn't work like that. You need to play the game and understand the space. And what DEX Screener does is show validation and intent that this is legitimately your token, that it's connected to your social medias, it has a banner that is aligned with your coin, an image that everyone can recognize. And again, because it's an investment, people are then more likely to hop on board because they see it as, well, they wouldn't pay DEX if they weren't interested in the coin. If you're completely new to crypto, what does DEX mean? DEX Screener is a website that is basically just a big bucket of all the meme coins in the world. And it used to be that people would only use DEX Screener to trade meme coins. Over time, trading platforms have come out, somewhere like PADRE, where you've got all of those without needing to go to DEX Screener. You get 35% cashback on your trades, you get some incredible features. There is a link in the description below. But back in the day, you couldn't trade PumpFun coins on a platform like PADRE. You had to do it through the PumpFun website, and when they graduated, which is when it hits a certain level of market cap, it can be bought by anyone else in the world of Solana through sites like DEX Screener. Now again, over time, the need for DEX Screener has become minimal because people just trade on somewhere like PADRE where you can access PumpFun coins and the greater world of crypto anyway. But nowadays, the payment of DEX just signifies the intent that you're here for the long term, or at least plan on investing back into the token. The process of this is simply filling out a form. You connect your wallet, you find the coin, you list your socials, you upload a banner image, and you paid $300. The token then updates regardless of whether it's still on PumpFun or has graduated, and you're good to go. It's that simple. But from experience, people are a lot less likely to buy graduated coins with no DEX paid than if there is. So it is an investment that you're gonna have to make. If you want to make anywhere near the thousands that other people are making, you have to front that and swallow that loss and accept that it is just vital for your coin to have any chance of survival. So by now you've spent, again, potential money on supply, you've spent money on maybe a streaming platform like OBS, you've spent money on deck screener. The goal is for you to make that money back, and there's no guarantee that you will. Like, you might get some volume, you might sit on PumpFun for 4 months with next to no volume, the same way you would on Twitch, and that's going to be demoralizing if you were sold a dream of making thousands. On Twitch and Kick, you know what you're getting, you know how hard it is to build, and you stream for the love of the game. Streaming on PumpFun, you're streaming for the love of the cash, and that is just going to change your mindset completely. So unless you're prepared to accept that, it's going to be a long road. So is it worthwhile then? If you have to front all this cash, if you have to invest so much time and learn about the space, is it even worth your time? The person that this is angled at is someone that doesn't know about crypto. So the idea of bundles, the idea of multi-wallets, they're not familiar with that. And what you have to accept is that the people in your streams are going to be vicious. Like, your audience isn't your audience. It's traders looking to make money off you. They're the ones who are going to find your streams. They're the eyes you're getting. It's not like you're going to be opened up to a whole world of fans looking for Call of Duty content. You're looking at traders with a few $100s in their wallet that want to make it off of you. Therefore, their demands are going to be higher. The chat could be a bit more intense. They could be asking quite a lot of you and demanding constant updates as to whether Dex has been paid, whether you've locked supply, fighting amongst each other, blaming people for the chat going down. Like, there's a lot that can go wrong. And because you're streaming, your face is attached to it. So if it does go wrong, if you do sell a dev wallet and someone takes it really personally, there are risks involved in that. So just be aware. But let's say you stream on Twitch and you launch a coin and you pay Dex and you do all these things and your audience buys in and they're really happy and the coin's going up, and then people that got in really early, who are traders and not your audience, decide to sell everything and nuke the chart and they make thousands of dollars, and then your audience are annoyed. That's the risk you take. Is it worth alienating your audience, causing them potential emotional and financial distress so you can make a potential fairly large sum of money? That's what you have to jostle with. Now, there is a room for PumpFun live streams. I think it's certainly an opportunity worth considering if you're in the crypto space, if you've got something unique to bring to the table, an idea that would invigorate the crypto community. If you're bringing over a stream and an audience from another platform, you have to apply that. You have to play by a different set of rules. You have to expect different things out of your audience, and that is something that is only going to come with time, and you don't have very much of it because meme coins do not last very long. The shelf life is short if you don't get that instant momentum. So you're going to be torn between pleasing your old audience, pleasing your new audience, and trying to find the middle ground while also trying to keep the coin alive and doing all of these extra things. There's a lot that goes into a successfully run live stream coin. And your stream is very much just a vessel for everyone to fight amongst themselves and make money. If you're not happy with that, do not make the jump. If you think you have an idea that is going to work for that kind of environment, you can do it on PumpFun. You will make some money. You've got to front a lot first though, and if you're not happy with that, maybe not for you. But I think this onboarding process where we see so many new streamers come in is just gonna unfortunately see many situations where people don't know what they're doing, they don't know how to lock supply, they don't know how to pay Dex, they don't understand why their audience suddenly hates them, and not really correlating the fact that this is no longer their audience, it's just an army of degens who are trying to make money off them. And it can just get messy for both your personal brand, for the traders that lose money, and for everything else. So I hope this guide was helpful, and just instead of all the videos telling you how to stream and set up an OBS, you guys know that. I just wanted to be kind of clear with the process of it, the risks involved, and wish you the best of luck if you decide to do it. For me, it's not something I've ever really been entertained by, but I hope that if you're going into those trenches looking to buy coins, if you're looking to stream, that you're smart, that you're safe, that you take care of your audience and you look after the streamer, vice versa. And I'll see you soon. Good luck in the trenches.